Afternoon, all. This is my screencast for Mr. Paul or Professor Paul Miller's uh, employee job shadowing final project. I was able to shadow Miss Carlene Jagan last month. She is one of FIA's new hire trainers. Um, the training program that the new hires go through is approximately about 6 weeks long. And during this screencast, I'll talk about my experience shadowing her as well as my opportunity to guide the class while she took a week of vacation in between the training. Again, the training at FIA for the new hires through the call center is about 6 weeks long. And during that time, they get a crash course on how to cure accounts and make them current, how to authenticate students that call in for information on their federal student loans, as well as how to keep the accounts current, long-term solutions for the accounts. Benefits of shadowing with the trainers. The day pretty much starts about 2 weeks before the training actually even begins. They're in charge of getting the resources together to make sure that each of the new hires are able to complete this job once they are released to the floor and taking phone calls on their own. The trainers have to gather account informations that can be related to any phone call that comes in. And with these training classes, they can go from anywhere to about 7 students to about 30 students. So it's the trainer's job to kind of gauge how fast or how slow the class is learning and figure out that pace pretty much on their own. Most importantly, it's they have to remember that the new hires that are let out onto the floor are a reflection of the job that they did while they had them in the classroom. The trainers, a lot of pressure is placed on them to make sure that the people that they're training are able to complete the job day to day, and they know how to use their resources, know how to find information that they might need, or who to reach out to if, for whatever reason, they can't find the information that they need. Ms. Carlene is from Virginia Beach. She previously was working as a project coordinator in Central College, and she is one of our senior trainers. Pennsylvania higher education has been around since 1963. It was created by the Pennsylvania General Assembly. We do service accounts under Fed Loan Servicing as well as American Education Servicing. I'm sure some of you have benefited from Pennsylvania higher education state grants that are given out each year to Pennsylvania students to kind of offset the cost of college each year. With the new hires, when they first come in, they are giving introductions to several teams, union reps, as well as supervisors who they would be under, and managers that occasionally come in and introduce them and kind of give a wide expectation of what the job is and what you're expected to do day in and day out. The trainers, on a daily task, they do attendance, worksheets, reviews, exams. They schedule peer shadowing as well as peer training, and on the floor phone calls. So if someone doesn't come in that day, they're responsible to make sure that they send out an email to advise all of the supervisors that, whatever trainee is not in that day. The same thing for like a peer shadow, whoever you're peer shadowing. It's the trainer's responsibility to make sure that they're scheduling and checking who's at work that day and who isn't, to make sure that your training goes, according to schedule. We have to make sure that there are enough phone calls to be completed for each of the new hires, so that they get that on the floor experience. Team meetings and weekly tasks. Trainers are responsible for getting out all communication to the entire floor on what's going to happen with the new hires before it happens. Many times changes are made and email updates have to go out in a timely manner. There are several people that have to know who is doing what within the agency. On a typical day, I might get as a call center supervisor now, anywhere from 40 to 150 emails per day. In conclusion, honestly, Miss Carlene does an incredible job. She does really make diamonds out of the people that we pick up pretty much from off the street. We do like a walk-in Wednesday now, where you can pretty much just walk into FIA, have an interview on the spot, and we will possibly make an offer to you if we're interested in hiring you for a handful of departments. And then from there on, the trainers take the new agents and mold them to be able to do this job moving forward. I personally would not become a trainer. It's kind of just like being a teacher, it goes hand in hand. And I don't have that type of patience anymore. I'm much better suited for managing people, and making sure that we can give pep talks to new agents, advising them that they can't do the job, that sometimes, the job is difficult, but you shouldn't take it to heart. People call in upset because their accounts are not current, worried that they're going to get reported to the credit bureau, and it's going to affect their credit. So, I mean, while I enjoy shadowing, and I always advise people, any job that you want to do, you should reach out to try to shadow, because it shows that you're interested, and not everyone requests for the opportunity to shadow in a position that they're interested in. So when you do shadow, it gives you the opportunity to kind of get in some FaceTime with whoever you're shadowing with, as well as whoever's managing that department or those agents, so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. It just shows a little bit more interest. Very similar to sending a thank you note to whoever you interview with. It kind of just shows that you are there and ready to receive any feedback of what you can do better or what you need more of. So I admire trainers and what they do, but at this point in time in my career, I've been at FIA since 2014. Being a trainer is not something that I would do. I was extremely interested in getting to know the process of how, we from day one get our agents in to 6 weeks later when they are out on the floor, and what goes into it. So I was able to see what kind of resources Carlene gets together. And again, I was able to take over her class for a couple of days in week 4 and direct, the students as if I was her, because she was away on vacation. So I was able to give them their resources, review accounts, and then give them an exam and say, go ahead and take this exam, and if you have any questions, use your resources. But at this point, I'm very happy with the position I'm in. And again, if anyone's interested in possibly employment at FIA, we do have walk-in Wednesdays every Wednesday, where you can come in and pretty much get an interview and an offer all at the same time. That's all from me. Enjoy the rest of your day.